Now come up onto your hands and knees. Middle finger forwards, fingers nicely spread, pressing down into the knuckles. Move the abdomen towards the spine, tuck your toes under, having your feet hip width apart, and lift up. So to start with, lift as high as you can. Make sure that your heels are not swinging in or swinging out, that your kneecaps are facing forwards, and see how high can you lift your sitting bones. Now lift them higher than that. Okay, press down with the knuckles, and now imagine that there is a rope around the top of each of your thigh bones, and that's going to be pulling straight back. So you've got to pull back with those thighs, pull back with those thighs. So as you pull back, it may be that the heels start to release down a little, but that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get that length and extension through the body by moving the thigh bones back. Okay, release down, toes together, heels apart, stretch forwards, Ardha Mukha Virasana, or on the chair for those whose knees don't like this action. Take a few breaths in Ardha Mukha Virasana, get that length and extension through the spine. Alright, and slowly coming up. So we're going to come into Vrksasana Tree Pose. Some of you may need to have a belt for this, and some of you may need the wall. Now we are doing some balancing actions today, and I'm acutely aware that for many people balance is a problem. That's fine. You have a little go, but you have a wall near to you so that you've got something for your comfort, particularly when you're working at home, because we don't want you to be falling over and crashing into things at home. It's a little bit more problematic at home. So we're going to take the right leg up and stretch up with the hands. And you have to really activate the inner thigh. So it's easier wearing shorts doing this pose because flesh on flesh will stick a little better. But those of you whose foot slips like mad, you can have a belt, you can use a tea towel or something for this. That's also absolutely fine, and we stretch up. But the sliding down of the foot does detract from the balance a little bit. So, it might be that you need to have a belt, even though normally you wouldn't, because we are focusing on the balance action. So first of all, we're starting out in Tadasana, focusing on the balance on 2 feet. So see if you can feel where the weight is coming on your feet. Are you stretching into the heels? Can you lift up through the chest? So I'm just moving back a little bit because this floor is a little uneven. We're in a very old building here. So we can kind of tilt a little bit, which could be a bit upsetting for the balance. So roll your shoulders back and down. If you need to have a wall, then have a wall behind you, or a wall to put your hand to, or a sofa back maybe to put the back of the hand, to put the hand onto the back of the sofa can be quite nice in this action. So feel where the balance is. Allow your eyes to close and see if you can still feel where the balance is. As we close our eyes, we start to waver often because much of our sense of balance comes from the visual aspect. So we're measuring all the time. Our brain is calculating where we are in space. So it's quite good to close and then obviously open them if you feel like you're starting to fall. So with that awareness, turn your right leg out. Get this rotation in the top of the thigh, and then bring the right heel up as high as it will go into the opposite groin. So it comes to the inner thigh. The center of your foot comes down the inner seam of your trousers, or where that inseam would be if you're wearing shorts. So press the thigh into the foot as well as the foot into the thigh. Take the arms out, rotate them and take them up. So again, a helpful tip when you're trying to balance is to look at a point on the floor about 8 feet, a couple of meters away from you. And releasing the arms, releasing the foot. And the other side now, so get this rotation and lift the foot up. So yes, the foot presses into that inner thigh, but the inner thigh has to press into the foot and the outer hip has got to move into to give you that stability in that outer hip. Using the belt or holding onto the foot if you're slipping. Stretching the arms out, rotating and taking them up. So let that knee release down, the bent leg knee. Releasing the arms and releasing the leg. Good. Standing Tadasana, mountain pose. Lift your chest, roll your shoulders back and down and breathe. Okay, so we're going to come for Trikonasana. I'm just going to show quickly. Turning the feet, triangle pose. So I'll go through that in a little more detail as we go. So from your Tadasana, feel that spreading of the toes, feel the weight evenly on each of the feet. Bring your hands to the center, step or jump wide. So in this intermediate action, again, feel the evenness in the feet. The feet are both facing in the same direction. We've just got the legs a little bit wider now, but has the balance altered? Press into the outer foot bones, lift your inner ankles. We're going to turn now to the right. So lift up onto the heel of your left foot, pivot in 15 degrees. Turn the whole of your right leg and foot out to 90 degrees. Check your alignment, heel to instep. Is this front leg rotating sufficiently? If not, turn it some more. Then start to observe, where is the weight? Where is the weight on your feet? Where have you shifted your weight of your torso? So we're still trying to keep the weight back into this back leg. It tends to shift to the front leg, but we have to keep it back. So with that awareness, keeping the weight into the back leg, come into your pose. Keep the rotation on the front leg, don't lose that rotational action. Breathe, fine inhalation, fine exhalation, stretching into the top arm. Keep pressing into the back leg, outer foot. Come up, turn the feet to face forwards, and we're going to the other side. So turn the feet, pressing into the outer foot bone, stretching into the fingers, breathing into the chest, and again feel, where is your balance? Where is your weight? Have you lost the weight out of this back leg? If so, see, can you move your torso so that you can get some weighted action into the outer edge of that back foot. Extend, lengthen, and come into the pose. Keep the breath fine. Keep breathing through the nasal passages. Lift the kneecaps. Make sure the outer edge of the back foot is pressing firmly into the floor. And now coming up out of the action, turn your feet and step or jump the feet back into Tadasana. Just let the breath steady and settle in your Tadasana. Alright, we're going to come into Vrksasana now. I'm just going to show how we're going to work in this. We're going to go to the right again, and we're just taking the arm onto the thigh here. top arm is coming over. But again, we're working on this evenness in the balance, not taking all the weight into the front leg. So from here, Tadasana, tailbone long, chest lifted, weight evenly balanced, soften your knees and take the feet a little bit wider than for your Trikonasana now. So with the feet a little bit wider, have you lost the action in the outer foot bones? Press down into those outer foot bones, lift your frontal pelvic bones up and weight your tailbone to the floor. Turning to the right, left foot in slightly, whole of the right leg and foot out completely. So get this turning, get this rotation. What has happened to your weight? So see if you can get the weighted action here into the outer edge of that back foot. So keep that weighted action into the outer edge of that back foot as you bend, and we're taking the arm down. But as we take the arm down, it's not a heavy action because we are weighting down into this back leg. So you should be able to lift the arm, place it, lift it, place it, lift it, place it, and rotate. So this arm is pushing the knee back, but you're not kind of putting lots of weight through it because your legs are taking the weight. And then take the top arm up and over. If there's shoulder problems, keep the arm up there or down onto your back hip. Breathe. Come up. Turn the feet and we'll go to the other side. So turn that right foot in, left leg and foot out. Get the balance, get the evenness through the two legs. Lift out of your pelvis, tailbone long. Bend your front leg. So if your knee overshoots your ankle, you know you have to make a little bit more space. So rest that top arm, front arm, sorry, onto the left leg. So left arm onto left leg, move the left knee back. Keep this opening. Keep the pressure down into the outer edge of your back foot. That back foot outer edge should not become light. And then the top arm comes up and over. So see how light you can make the front side of the body. So we're not putting a heavy weight through this side. You know, it's your legs that are taking the action, not letting the weight all drop onto your body. So we have to use the body as a scaffold. You know, the bones are there to help support the weight. All right, coming up. Turn the feet and step or jump the feet back into the center. So we want the bony structure of the body to be weight bearing. It needs to be weight bearing. The joints themselves shouldn't be the major areas of weight bearing. So let the breath recover, steady and settle. So we're going to come now for Ardha Chandrasana. I know this presents a challenge for balance for a lot of people, but you can use the wall, you can use the kitchen cupboards to do this. You can use the back of a sofa, an upright piano if you've got one is very good for balance. I'm just going to show and then you can give it a go if you feel you're able to. So we come from Trikonasana. Top hand comes down, weight is back, this front leg is turning. Then we bend, we extend and we lift up. Okay, and then we bend, come back into Trikonasana and up. So we did this pose in this more kind of freestanding way a couple of weeks ago, and I know that some of you do find it challenging. And you can just, if it's really a bridge too far at this stage, come into the Trikonasana action, the triangle pose, Stay in that and get that awareness of where the weight is in the body in your Trikonasana if this is a little too much. Otherwise, step or jump the feet wide, turn the feet. Now, where is the weight? Make sure that that back leg is still engaged in the action, coming into your Trikonasana, top arm down. Now you're going to bend your front leg and step in with your back foot. The front hand comes about a foot ahead of your little toe. So bend your front leg, step in, step in, step in, and lift up. So you have to get the rotation on the right leg thigh, so you're keeping that rotation, maintaining that, so that the chest can turn. And then, if you're able to take your top arm up, you can take your top arm up. Extend into the inner heel of your raised leg. Those working in Trikonasana, slightly longer stay, so you can really feel the action moving into that back leg, outer foot bone. So bending the front leg, stepping back, nice quiet movement back into Trikonasana, coming up, turn the feet to face forwards and turning to the other side. So now the right foot in, whole of the left leg and foot out, stretch into the fingers, lift the chest, Trikonasana, get the rotation, get the extension, get the length in the spine, top arm comes down, bend your front leg, and now hand is forwards and you're just stepping in, and keep the rotation in the front leg thigh as you lift up into the pose. Extend into the inner heel of your raised leg and then take your top arm up. Those working in Trikonasana, again, has the outer edge of your back foot become light? If it has, press it down. Observe the balance, observe the weight distribution. And now those in Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose, step back into your Trikonasana. Come up, turn the feet to face forwards and step or jump the feet back into Tadasana. So just recover, observe the weight where it is on your feet. We're going to come into a cross-legged action onto the bolster. Now you can do a standard Shavasana with straight legs, it's not a problem. You can support the back of the head with a blanket. But if you can comfortably lie down with your legs a little bit lifted onto a bolster, then that's how you're going to work. And it may be that you need something under your head, a blanket or a foam pad, just so that the throat can remain soft. Those who find this uncomfortable, the legs can stretch out either in your standard Shavasana or with the bolster underneath the backs of the legs. So come into your cross-legged position, release down, turn the palms to face towards the ceiling, let the abdomen soften and release to the floor. Let the breath become steady. So observe the actions in the chest, observe the actions in the hips. Those of you in cross legs can change the cross the legs. Fine inhalation, fine exhalation through the nostrils. So if at any point this becomes uncomfortable, just stretch your legs out instead. You need to use this time to just let the nervous system settle down. Now if you wish to come into a Shavasana, a standard Shavasana, after this pose, then you're very welcome to do so. 3 or 5 minutes in your Shavasana would be fine. But we have to finish now, so this is a good pose to finish on if you haven't got time to come into a Shavasana. Slowly and without disturbing the nervous system, roll to your right and slowly bring yourselves up into a seated position. Alright, well done. So thank you for joining me today, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Namaste.